and welcome to the map itself. And well, Spain starts in a rather interesting position. Now, I've never played Spain in Black Ice, so this will be something a little bit different, that's for sure. It'll be interesting to see, once we have a handle after the Civil War, sort of what position that leaves our nation. I'm hoping that we can finish the Civil War up fairly quickly, and then plan some, neutral expansion before really having to pick a side. I'm not going to jump into the Comintern immediately, sorry. I'd rather leave that a little bit later on into the campaign before we sort of definitely agree to that as an option. But yeah, Spain does start in an interesting position. A pretty decent sized, actually, IC, considering. I was expecting it to be a little bit lower, so the fact that we have a little bit more is good. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a few units. Now, I wouldn't normally start with units, and the only reason I'm starting with units in this particular campaign is I'm aiming to have some units sort of ready to deploy straight into the field. And I think we're going to move the heavy cruisers down. We don't need to concentrate on them immediately. Now, we don't have any laws to drop, and what I've done is I've set up my intelligence and my tech already. And I'm mainly concentrating on, obviously, all the industrial techs like normal. But the only exception is that I would really like to get the first level of a couple of the infantry techs up and running. Same thing with the recon one, so I'll probably jump onto that in a moment and get that done prior to the Civil War, which I think starts in July, August time. It's not my best area of expertise, actually, to be completely honest with you, the Spanish Civil War. So, introduction help. I'm going to disable this mission, or this thing for a moment. Sorry about that, getting a beautiful phone call. Now, it always seems to happen when you're recording, do you know what I mean? It seems like the universe seems to just naturally know when you're recording. But yeah, we're going to disable the help and intro decision. I do heavily recommend that everyone actually bothers to read this, because I think a fair amount of the questions that get asked are answered within this. I know it's not the most user-friendly thing in the world, but it's a massive improvement on having nothing at all. So yeah, I think, I've used it, read it through. I still make mistakes myself. I mean, the unit composition one's quite good. I also think the Science Minister one's good, and the buildings that each Minister type gives is pretty useful as well, because it just tells you what each one does. The key things that we're going to want in this campaign is manufacturing plant is quite useful. The heavy industry, so the silent workhorse administrative genius, because we've actually got some rather useful ministers that we're going to go into in a moment. So we're going to go normal for Black Ice itself, and then we get a whole load of additional things. So let's do the focused first. And we are going to support Abyssinia. We'll send some troops. Let's make sure that, they're guaranteed our support. Okay, so we're going to go for reduce our neutrality. We're going to go for economy focus, and we're going to build new manufacturing plants in order to get a little bit of heavy industry and some manufacturing plants to aid with our supply production. After the Germany campaign, where we've learned that research doesn't really do all the things that we want it to do, I think IC and industry build is probably still the way to go up to a certain point. And I'm just going to go for a short-term investment for this first year. So, Bank for International Settlements, Strategic Doctrine Development, Trade Options, okay, and the Mixed Support Brigade start. So, let's rock and roll. So, 200 supplies for that. Mixed Support choice. And let's have a little look at what we feel like on this run. I'm thinking the amphibious armor for some defensiveness, some toughness, some soft attack, some movement, and some amphibious attack would be pretty good. What do you get from the infantry attack? Oh, you don't actually get, do you? You get a lot of bonuses from these. What about the... Yeah, so the recon cavalry. So, wait a minute. This is all basic, isn't it? So... Yeah, we want the non-motorized, so... Yeah, I mean, the hard attack is good. The air attack, I'm not going to do anti-air, but the anti-tank is definitely worth it. The artillery, I don't like the movement decrease. That's what does it for me and puts me off it. Yeah, so I lean actually towards infantry tank, amphibious armor, because they don't give you a speed decrease and they give a lot of bonuses. And then maybe if we mix in the recon cav for the movement bonus, and then maybe the engineers as well. So we're going to go the infantry tank, the amphibious, the engineers, and the recon unit. And that's going to give us a lot of movement bonuses and things. Now, we don't have any field divisions at the moment, really, that use mixed support, but yeah, what we just actually produced, let's cancel that. And now that we've got it arranged, we will probably plan that out a little bit better and get that in production. So, Western Front difficulty setting. Yeah, let's do all of the individual nations. So, we want China to be normal, we want Japan to be hard, we want Italy to be hard, we want Germany to be on hard, we want the Soviets to be on hard because I want to give Germany a decent fight, and then I think the Allies I'm going to put on normal. Just going to have, you know, because Germany should be strong enough to overcome. Oh, and the leader backstory is always useful. So, let's get started. What do we want to do this time? I do like the pioneering scientist for the 5% efficiency bonus. So I say the scientist, the professor, I don't like the minus 6%. So 6%, is that, I mean, this is just a bit of feedback, but 4% for 6 plays 2 for 4. Is that like that for a reason? Shouldn't they just be replications of each other? But whatever. I lean towards maybe doing the child apprentice in a factory and seeing if that gives you any additional things as a result of picking that, but you know what? A 2% IC decrease for a little bit more leadership isn't the worst thing in the world, and I think we might be a little bit of leadership lacking. I think a famous industrialist. And I would like to be a doctor and get a little bit extra casualty trickle back. So, or an apprentice to an industrialist. Let's see if that gives you like an industry bonus. Just trying a few things. Okay, and then in the politics tab, we've got a lot of positives in here. So, we've got a really useful die-hard reformer here with a 2.5% IC efficiency for production. So I want him. That's great. Then, as an extra bonus, we've got, where is it? A silent workhorse under Manuel Azana Diaz, which is also beautiful. I think the daily descent change is probably the best of these. Although, I would like someone that could confer a little bit of ruling party support. Or someone that would give us a bit of a leadership modifier. So, maybe actually the leadership modifier would be better. I mean, what have we got in here at the moment? A bit of daily descent change. And a tendency to drift due to a... let's put the ideological crusader in for the ruling party support for now. I don't want an IC decrease, so what we're going to do is we've got, yes, an administrative genius. So we've got 2 people here that could give us heavy industry or manufacturing plants, which is quite nice. I'm happy to leave the... Let's get ourselves a little bit more leadership. This has got no minister type, so we want to change that. There we go, we've got an IC. Industrial specialist, which is good. Land build speed minus 5%, good. We're going to get the guns and butter doctrine, convoy raid efficiency, and then it's really just you whether or not we want someone that gives us some ruling party support. There isn't really a good option, so he's probably best. So a couple of Conservatives, a bit of a mixed government. I mean, they qualify for 3 and we qualify for 4. So we've definitely put our 4 in. And then we've got a left-wing radical in as head of state. Good news. So what we're going to want to do now is create these units, which is what we're going to do. And hopefully we can get them out, or at least have them ready to be put out for when we've produced everything. Now, the only other thing to do as well is to have a little look at trade. So let's try and sell as many supplies on opening day as we can to all of the nations of the world, including the US, who only want 29. Germany, I don't suppose. Yeah, Germany will do a trade. Sorry for the clicking. Oh, yes. Well done, UK. Thank you. It's useful to get all of these trades sort of done day one, because hopefully they'll all stick with them. And it's also a chance for us to get a little bit of positive momentum on relations with a few people. Okay, I think that'll do. Alright, let's put time forward. We've done a lot of trades. And we've got some more events and things. So we're actually going to go for closed hangar and cemented steel on this one. Then again, we're not a massive industrial powerhouse, are we? No, I think we'll just go for the standard cemented. And because we're not a massive industrial powerhouse, we're going to go for light aircraft, gasoline engine, cast armor. And there we go. Huge amount of different events. So we're not, you know, the world's largest nation, that's for sure. So we have made some experiments with tanks. So that's good, at least. We're not completely backwards. We are a mountainous country, that's very true. So that's going to give us some bonuses by the sounds of it. A politically agitated country. Recent political agitation. So there's very large amounts of militia, which is good. London Naval Treaty will give us a little bit of a decrease. I think what I'll do is I'm going to hold on to that event. Okay. And yeah, we've got some espionage being done. Now, my hope is yes, we can get you. We're going to get the garrison organization because that is kind of useful. Does that increase militia as well? Yes, it does. In which case we don't need you. And the mountain unit training is probably useful. Now, we do have a fair amount of artillery in the field, so we might as well improve that as well. And then we've got one other IC that we could get in. So we want anything that will give us just a direct improvement on combat. So like the attritional warfare, the artillery flexibility are both useful. None of those are particularly great. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. And then yeah, let's make our armor a little bit better. We've got one more that we could probably use for something. We could just chuck it in Great War analysis. Or yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, a bit more of an improvement on that front. I think that's good going. Let's put you at the top. And then if we do lose any of our research time, we're only losing it in things that we're less worried about, like construction tech and the like. So, I think that's pretty good for tech. That's going to be done by June, so we'll have some units with a little bit of an improvement. London Naval Treaty. We must abide to it. We must. I agree. But how do we want to play this? So, yeah, we've got a full production queue. They'll be done by July 1st, so we'll have them in the field relatively quickly. Creation of battle commanders, great news. Yes, we do want revolts. And we have a developed interwar navy. So, you know, at least we've got some small and medium ships. We're making really decent money. We're a low development country, which is a bit of a sad thing. But hopefully we can change that around. And we've got a little bit extra that we can just put into our supplies at the moment. So, we're hemorrhaging. What are we dying quickly of? Mainly energy. So, we can have a little look at some of our allies. So, the Soviets. We want to buy your energy. Thank you very much. I don't suppose anyone else. I mean, you're running at quite a decent bonus. Hey now. That'll do. And we want to try and support, you know, some friendly relations in the New World. So Venezuela, how much fuel are you? Yeah, 89. So yeah, we need 60. We can get ourselves a pretty decent trade agreement with you. So give them fuel for money. We'll take both of those. Let's try and keep that money balance as positive as we can. Scripted invasions, why not? And we are going to run out of supplies apparently, but not immediately, which is the key thing. Okay, so we've got a couple of people like Siam. Going to decline the rares one for now. The metal one is a decent trade with Chile, so we'll take that. I'm going to decline that rares one there with America. We just want to keep, you know, fairly broken even if we can. And I want to set up trades on my own terms. So, energy. How about this, US? So that takes us green, good going. Canada with a much more reasonable deal there. So 15 for 13. We'll decline it for now. Let's have a little look on the marketplace. So metal. I don't really want to buy from Germany, and sadly I can't trade with Bolivia. There's no other major metal producers though in the world. We could do the UK. But we might be better getting rares from them. How about the Soviets? We will buy... we need enough to go green, but not much more than that, so we'll buy 40. Good. And then we need a little bit more oil. Now, we could go back to Venezuela for that, and that would be what I would prefer to do. Now, we only want to sort of break even and then maybe exceed it just a little bit. Okay, good going. We give them money for fuel. Yeah, if they want to do that trade with us, we will lose fuel in order to up our fuel level. And yeah, we need some rares. So, rare producers. Could get another trade with the Soviets, but I think the UK. Or we could go with Brazil. They only got a benefit of 12 though. We could do the Dutch. Perfect. So how much do we need? Probably about 40, just so that we've got a bit of a surplus, but not a massive one. Okay, we're building up a little bit on the old espionage front, and building up our officer ratio quite quickly. I would ideally like that to be as high as possible going into, you know, a proper conflict. We're going to drop a save here. I am very happy the game's a little bit more stable. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that there, but oh well. yeah, we do have some liners. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all of our troops to home. Okay, so yeah, we get riots in the streets, which gives us a little bit of a dissent debuff, which is a shame, and some national revolt risk. Which ain't the best. And yeah, we do have some tanks that we can use for suppression duty. Including, yeah, some up here. Now what we can do is we can chuck in our... Oh, we've got a little industry icon. Oh, that's cool. Enjoy the little things, everyone. I think actually if we go that way, that would be best. And then yeah, you're about to come back home. And then let's bring you over. Better. So budget limitations. I mean, we're already up to nearly 2,200 on the old money, which is good. Yes, we want some mixed recon support, some engineers upgrades, some infantry tank upgrades. Thank you very much. And some amphibious armor upgrade. Very good. Yeah, you're attacking there. You can go to Malaga. Now, we could get a seaplane tender, I believe, out of this. Yeah, a seaplane tender. Now, the question is, do we want metal and supplies rather than that? I'm not sure we really need a seaplane tender, to be completely honest with you, so I think we will just break her up. Head that way, and then yeah, you can go that way. So also those revolts are being dealt with. Yeah, we've got a division over here that we need to bring home, and then we can just rebase our ships in that direction. So let's have a little look at our air force. Most definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world. I'm going to split our fighters off and actually combine them into a wing, and then we'll just have the fighter bomber group by itself. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better, and we could do with just lowering our descent, because I reckon that that can get out of control very quickly if we're not careful. So 30 a day seems probably worth it. Right, there's cadets. And then how's our tech looking? Looking good. Looking very good. And then we'll take you back to okay, so the left will govern. So the Fronte Popular, 16th of February 1936 elections. After the government crisis of December 1935, elections were held in which the left-leaning parties were united in a unique front. The Fronte Popular, the CDA, or the CEDA, couldn't unite all the political parties of the right, and the Popular Front won. On the night of the 18th of February 1936, Portarella resigned and a new government was established. We gain a little bit of dissent. Now, I am going to immediately switch it all back around again. Although, I think all of these are all fine. Apart from the fact he's fine in the short term, But yeah, not in a rush to sort of keep him in place. I mean, they balance off on each other at the moment. Okay, and up to 96 on the old leadership, which is good. And yeah, we were losing a little bit there. Now, on espionage, we're going to take it out now. I think we've probably got enough for now. Okay, and we're hemorrhaging fuel again, as well as a little bit of metal. So, yeah, we're making 40. Can we try and get some more oil trades? What's going on, Venezuela? Why did you cancel our oil request? We want to buy your beautiful oil. Good. We're still making positive variance. We're still down 17. We probably need to just do some more trades in supply. France. Nope. UK. Beautiful. Soviets. Nope. Italy. No, the Italians aren't going to want to trade with us, are they? No. Okay, well, we got a little bit more income from the UK, so that's at least good. Okay, Republican parade. So on the 14th of April, a parade for the commemoration of the 5th anniversary of the Republic was held. Because Republicans doubted the loyalty of the Garda Civil to the Republican government, riots and protests began during the parade by the Guardia Civil. During the riot, Alferez de los Reyes died, and the funeral of de los Reyes, the national supporters used his death as an excuse for more protests in the streets, which resulted in more shootings and the invasion of the Garda. Yeah. As a result, blah blah blah. As a result, Andres Sanez de Heredia, cousin of Primo de Rivera, founder of the Falange, dies. Lieutenant Jose, yes, tries to shoot the national supporters. So we gain a little bit more dissent, but we are at least keeping it in check. So, a Popular Front. Peasants thought it was time to carry out reforms promised in the first legislature and start to take lands from landlords by force. The government didn't try to avoid these activities since such actions could lead to agricultural reform. And yeah, let's let them take over the lands and get a little bit of agriculture advance. Thank you very much. Good, good. Love me some tech points. Okay, so we've just lost a little bit of energy, which was not what we wanted. Money for metal, sure. And we're down on metal overall. We need to do another metal trade with someone else. I mean, Norway? Okay, they don't want to. The Soviets. Thank you. The Soviets will always do some extra metal. Let's just make sure our budget is aligned. Okay, and it's only fuel now that we're lacking. So if we go back to the Soviet Union, maybe? Nope, we're lacking fuel, so... Brazil, yeah, we will buy some of your crude. Nope, we won't. We need more than that. Okay, the US. If we have to buy from the filthy capitalist dogs, we will. Okay. Economy's looking relatively good. We're still getting some units produced. Oh, no, no, no. That's not acceptable. And yeah, one more unit down here that we're just going to transport over to home. Volunteers, okay, that gives us a little bit of a decrease to our neutrality. Not the worst thing in the world. Good. Good, good, good. Now we're about to hit 110% on the old officer ratio. But not before we've got all of our IC being back into infantry production. And we're making good money. Okay, Second London Naval Treaty. I'm not going to sign that immediately because I guarantee there's going to be an event where we're going to get some dissent in a minute. We just know it's going to happen, everyone. Okay, yeah, gain 2 dissent. So, yeah, we will do that. We will sign the treaty now. And then we can immediately change it back to who we want. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's just not... Also, it's... Yeah, I don't want a corporate suit, thank you very much. I live that on my daily life. I mean, that's okay, that Minister of Security that's a communist. I will take that. I think that's all okay, actually, in every other position. A little bit extra IC. I mean, considering this is, I believe, a peacetime rotation for our laws. So yeah, full civilian economy and without heavy industry. I mean, that's actually not a bad IC level at 90. We can get that over 100 fairly quickish. That would be very good. Now, there's no point building any IC at the moment. We might as well hold off on that until we know sort of how the Civil War is going to pan out. I believe it is the north of the country primarily that sort of sides with the nationalists. Maybe apart from Bilbao, which I think has like a ring of forts around it normally. I think Cadiz also goes over, but I'm not 100% certain. Now, it has been cleaned up for the new version, the Civil War, made to be a little bit less higgledy-piggledy. So, the option to get some more heavy industry, which is good. Let's have a little look at our industry disposition as well, just before the end of this episode. So, sadly... Okay, so there are some heavy industry in La Corona. Got some there next to Portugal, and okay, so both of these provinces are going to be worth upgrading. And yeah, none really elsewhere. But we've got 3 different, you know, heavy industry areas. It's a shame that they're in slightly precarious positions, but we will do what we can. I like the green on the old resources. Okay, sensitization machine, good. So, 38, 38, 38. I mean, anything we're doing now, maybe we should just bung it into officers and just try and get that ratio as high as possible. If we can get up to like 16,000, that would be, you know, not bad. I imagine that we're going to lose some, so... The murder of José del Castillo. So, on July 12th, Castillo went to celebration in La Plaza de Toros de las Ventas. There, the socialist militant Leonor Mendez warned him that he was going to be killed. Oh, lovely. He responded that he had no wish to hide. Later, he walked with his wife, Gonzalo married on the 20th of May, and after leaving he took the Augusto Figueroa Street towards the barracks. He was attacked by 4 assailants, probably phalangists. Castillo tried to use his gun, but he fell to the ground and mortally wounded. This is not good. So we get a sad face revolt. Let's just bring up here so that we can see where that is occurring. Okay. So a bunch of victories there. And then we can go down there. What I'm going to do as well is we're going to delete this light infantry and get ourselves a little bit of extra manpower. Now that I've noticed it. Any other Cazador units? Nope. Good. And then the ability to remove some dissent as well. So we're going to do that. So medicine advance, sure. Radio detection equipment. Yeah, which gives us a little bit of bonuses. Radios are still being done. Put a little bit more into officers, please. Okay, and there we go. That's another revolt dealt with, and back under a pretty sizable amount of dissent. But being under 10 feels good. Right, infantry unit training in advance. I might just let that run. Yes, let's get the stormtrooper tactics. Try and make our units as powerful as we can. Cavalry exploitation. Thank you very much. This is all what we like to see. Infiltration tactics. Italy enforced conquer on Abyssinia. And we can take that away and put that into officers. Let's just keep it building up quite nicely. Artillery units. Good. Industry. Thank you very much. Okay, and I'm going to call it an episode here. So thank you for watching episode 1 of the Spain campaign, and I will be back with you in a moment for episode 2 of the Spain campaign, where we're going to continue on and hopefully get actually get into the Civil War. But I will see you then. See you in episode 2.